yeah, I'm ready to go, so let's just go. So yeah, we're kind of on to the, I guess probably the second half of Chrono Trigger right now. If I can just get that up in a second. Yeah, there we are. So, yeah, we just finished sort of the big epic fight that kind of divides the game in half, the Magus fight. And you got the nice epic music to sort of divide one half of the game from the other, too. So yeah, we're sort of like almost leading into the Zeal plotline at this point, which is actually a little ways off there. You sort of take like a little detour, have a little intermission in the prehistoric era. But yeah, after this is the whole Zeal plotline, which I've been really kind of anxious to get to from the very beginning, because that was, I don't know, I feel like I might have a lot to say about that. Well, I guess we'll see when we get there. But yeah, oh, got that great. Yep, a speed run this certainly is not. Going on just about 11 hours at this point. And yeah, I should have just stopped it last night when we, right as soon as we got to the prehistoric era, because I can't actually remember what we're supposed to be doing right now. I think the last thing we did was go to the ruins of Laruba here, so maybe someone in here has some idea of where to go. We take care of lunch. Okay, good advice in general, I guess, but the dactyl nest, that's where we're going. Okay. Oh, right, I remember now, but first, before all of that, we have some business with a man and his horns, petals, fangs, and I don't know, clovers and balloons or whatever. Right, so we want the weapons out of all of these, which means we're going to have to... Actually, I think we're fine. I think we actually have enough from our last time in this era to, yeah, get absolutely everything we need. Because he's just got new weapons at this point, so we don't need to worry about doing absolutely every single combination. Dreambow, that sounds like a good time. We were very fortunate to get so many petal drops too, since that's what you need for all of the weapons here. I feel like we're missing something. Oh, Chrono's got to get his new sword too. Ah, shit, we do need to go farming a bit, actually. We need a couple horns. I think maybe we'll be fine without. It's probably going to be like the usual thing, where I waste my time, or I waste my money in the shop, and then we just find something better in the dungeon, like immediately after shopping. But whatever, we'll equip the new garbage. Yeah, or actually, he's got the +2 speed off of this, so yeah, we don't even want the new sword. Speed is king in this game, so yeah, I think we're fine to just go ahead. Oh, did we get a new sword for Frog? Actually, we might actually want a new sword for Frog if one is available. Dream Gun, Dream Bow, Magma Hand, got all those. Aeon Blade. That might be a frog sword, but I'm guessing that it's not. I mean, frankly, we can just go ahead. We already did the dactyl nest, sort of the first time that it was available to us. So now, we're, like, you know, now 6 or 7 hours later, I think we'll be perfectly fine here. All right, you know what? I'm gonna take down the volume just a tad here. That scream was a little bit noisy in my ear there. So, yeah, that... Okay, that's slightly better for me. And, yeah, I think we're pretty much going to do the same thing here that we did in Magus's castle, which is just basically just, like, dunk everyone in a cold glass of ice water. Hey, yeah, this is basically what we're doing to everything at this point. Oh shit, except monkeys. Monkeys can swim, apparently. Also got some hot tea, which might yet be too hot, but we're gonna take a risk and give it a shot. Still Still a bit spicy for my taste right now. Spicy's the wrong word there. It's not really that kind of heat. That'd be an interesting type of tea, though. Is there a spicy tea out there? That might be something to try. I do like spicy foods, just not hot foods, if that makes any sense. Spicy, but not hot. It actually says here that I am not connected to chat. Is that right? Okay, that shows up on the stream window, so yeah, that I guess Twitch is just lying to me. Or I guess, okay, it gives you the notification when you're not connected, but it doesn't give you the notification when you reconnect. So, okay, crisis averted, I guess. Oh yeah, we gotta do this nonsense again. I do still kind of dislike it when it's like they went through all the trouble of having this battle system where you can avoid fights that you don't want to fight, and yet it's just wasted a lot of the time. A lot of these fights you can't avoid. And it's just why bother? Why not just let me avoid every fight and just make things difficult for myself at the bosses? Actually, one of my favorite, in fact, my absolute all-time favorite JRPG, Grandia, does that basically. Where, yeah, they've got the same thing, where you've got the monsters on the overworld, and you can bump into them to fight them, or run away from them to avoid them. And, you can avoid, like, every single battle in that game, except you make the bosses, like, really difficult for yourself if you do. Which is fine, because that game actually has a super, like, deep and strategic combat system, so you can actually do a low-ball run. And it's actually really fun. That's actually one of my favorite ways to play Grandia. It's just, as fun as the battle system is in that game, the way I like to play it is to avoid all of the battles, to just get like a few super challenging boss fights out of it. Or you know what, I don't think... Sorry, just adjusting my microphone a little bit there. You know, I'm not even going to waste my MP on this. We dealt with these guys like hours ago to get our meso mail. So now this is the point in the game where like meso mail is no longer like uber late game stuff or later game stuff. This is like actually the point where we would regularly get the meso mail. So I guess that's going to get replaced pretty soon. Right, this was where we were supposed to go. Oh, they expect us to do something now. It's dangerous to go alone, so I'm gonna go alone. No, that's like the opposite. It's like, it's dangerous to go together, so I'm going to go alone. It's like, what? You know, cave people weren't too smart, I guess, back in the day. Oh yeah, so yeah, Ayla can't... Or no, we don't even have the opportunity to take Ayla into the end of time yet anyways, so yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta choose who's coming in. I actually do want to use Marl, just for... We're gonna use everyone throughout the course of this dungeon, just to see what double techs we can unlock with Ayla. But, because yeah, I remember there being some, like, really good double techs you can get. Yeah, this game does have a map. I was sure that there was one. Interesting, they got, like, the sort of Pangea theory in place here, where it's like the continents all started together, and then they drift apart over the course of 65 million years. Just, I don't know, a nice... I wonder how much sort of, like, historical reference went into this game, just in terms of, like, a continental drift and whatnot, and as far as designing the maps for the different eras. Oh yeah, we can actually go to the Sunstone. Or no, that's right, we get the Sunstone in the future. Is there anything else to... Pretty sure there's, like, basically nothing. You can land anywhere you want, but there's basically nowhere to go. And that's one thing about this game. It kind of has just the right amount of freedom and exploration to be done, but not so much that you get, like, drown in it and get overwhelmed. In fact, the game's pretty constrained for the most part, with just the occasional detour you can take. Like I've been talking about, you can go to the Dactyl Nest early to get Mesomail. You can take a detour through the sewers to see Balthazar a little bit early. So you get those opportunities to sort of wander around and explore a little bit. But there's not like tons of that. The critical path is mostly clear, apart from having to talk to a few NPCs. Oh, they got the purple lizard men in the bad guys' hideout. I guess that means that they're... Oh, seriously, I can't get a double hit on that? Whatever, we're just gonna slash the lizard man. Oh, shit. I thought that would one-shot him, because slash normally counts as lightning damage. Also, is it just me, or is Marl, like, hitting... Okay, I was gonna say hitting like a truck lately, but I guess Ayla's the one who's really hitting like a truck. Marl's really more like a tiny little, like, micro machine truck. She hits like... But still, it's decent damage. She's doing, like, what, half as much as Chrono and a fifth? Wow, when did Ayla get so freaking powerful? She's been, like, out of the party... Oh, there we go. So we got the Volt Bite. I think that's a Chrono double tech. Yeah, so she actually doesn't have anything with Marl right now, and I guess we did learn all of her double techs the first time around. Do I want to Lightning 2 these guys? Let's just go with the regular Lightning, and then, yeah, Marl, and we can get the Girl Power Squad to take out the other ones. Okay, so these guys actually do have high defense. It seems like you can't win when it comes to cursor memory. Like, I switch the battle cursor memory on and I get screwed up, and then I switch it off and I get screwed up. I'm just terrible at RP. I'm just terrible at selecting options from menus, I guess, in RPGs, which in a way is kind of the core mechanic of these types of games, is just flipping cursors through menus and selecting the right option. Kind of amusing, actually. They're like, the outfit these purple reptites are wearing kind of looks like Chrono's, and if I remember correctly, in the dinosaur ending that you get for beating Lavos at this point in the game, where the reptites end up winning the Prehistoric War and everybody in the present is a reptite, and I think Chrono's reptite sprite is represented by one of those. I wonder if that's like something they deliberately did in the first place, or if that's just something they chose after the fact, or if it's just all a coincidence. Ooh, if there's 3 of them, I might go with the Lightning 2. They say it's the apes, but they actually do have apes, like actual apes, in their service in this castle. They fight alongside the winged apes. Whoops. Wait. I hit the wrong button, but it still did the thing. Let's see how the T's looking right now. That's better. There we go. That's some damage. Oh, fuck me. I forgot to start the local hard drive recording. Okay. I guess there's really no point to having it right now, but yeah, I do like to record to the local hard drive for the YouTube VODs. We'll just do it different this time. We'll just upload the one directly from Twitch, which is a pain in the ass a lot of the time and doesn't work quite as well as I'd like it to. Can you not just hit the switch here? I tried to, but it wouldn't work. So if she can climb over the thing, then why can't Kino? Is he really, like, just that useless? And also, if Kino is so weak and useless that he can't climb over a bone gate, then why is he the chief after Ayla? Okay, I can be shown something later, though. I'm gonna get this. It's a mid-ether. How many mid-ethers do we have at this point? We're on 42 mid-ethers. Which I guess means we could be a little bit more liberal with our techs than we have been this whole time. Could maybe afford to spam a bit more of that lightning, too. Oh, has she learned any new techs, by the way? Oh, that's right, yeah, once she learns Rock Throw, that'll combo with a bunch of different people's abilities, but at this point, frankly, I don't think it really matters, but we're going to go with Frog, or actually, no, we're going to go with Robo, because he's kind of the best. We're just going to go full physical, I guess, for this one, where it's just, we've got our 3 heaviest hitters in the party. Anyway, we're basically just going to mash A throughout this entire dungeon. You can press the button to drop him down the hole, but I don't want to fight him. What would be really amusing is if Robo, running to the switch right there, actually triggered it. So this looks the same as the dinosaur that we fought in the, whatever it was, the cave that we were in the last time we were here. But I think this is, yeah, this is definitely, is it? I think this is a different type of enemy, but now I'm not so sure. That went down really easy. Ah, fuck it. Like I said, we got like a billion ethers. We'll just lightning 2 on everything. So yeah, as much as I was saying how the Magus fight kind of divides the game in half before the sort of Zeal section, that's the next major portion of the game's plot. I guess it's really the this prehistoric little side story here that's actually the dividing point, and actually probably a bit more closer to the halfway point of the game as well, since yeah, the Magus fight isn't actually, it's actually a little less than halfway. I think the Azala fight is actually a bit closer to the halfway point. Or you know, we might actually, or you know what, Robo's a healer. Robo's got some healing on him. Oh, so they'll just kill each other if we hit them. That seems like a good deal. And they, okay, so they can hit themselves for 100 damage, or they can hit you for like 10. Beautiful. Although I think Robo's still like super tanky from that glow helm. Excuse me, still got a little bit of that cold right now. It actually really hurt my throat. Yeah, vocal cords still feeling a little bit... Oh, quite the opposite, actually. That's right. We switched his helm over to Frog. And we actually don't have a dummy one to swap out with, so I guess he's stuck with it. We'll probably find a new one somewhere in the dungeon. Alright, I was gonna heal Chrono. And yeah, I think I talked about this on the previous stream, but I find it kind of amusing how the story in the prehistoric era here is basically the same as the Middle Ages, where there's a war between humans and non-humans, and the non-humans are about to wipe out the humans, and then Chrono comes and does stuff to save the day. And it's like, how did they win in the first place then, if the situation was so dire? And then I guess there's sort of the explanation of that if you go deep into the Chrono Trigger lore, how it's like all of Chrono and Co.'s interfering with the time stream is like actually part of the canonical timeline, as it were, of the world of Chrono Trigger. So it's like the reason that the humans won the war against the Mystics was always because Chrono traveled back in time to help them out. And the whole reason for humanity's existence in the first place is because Chrono traveled back in time to win the war against the Reptites. Maybe the actual default time stream of Chrono Trigger is the ending where everybody's a lizard person. And that's actually the natural state of the world that this game takes place in. That would be a funny bit of alternate history, I think, for a sequel. To just have, like, games have done that, too. Games with alternate endings, where you have, like, multiple sequels branching off from the different endings. Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain did that, where you have the Legacy of Kain Defiance, I think it was, which was the... Or no, it was just Blood Omen 2, which was the sequel to kind of the bad ending, sort of that game, where you become a vampire lord. And then there was the Soul Reaver series, which was the sequel to the good ending, where you sacrifice yourself to preserve the Pillars of Nosgoth. Oh man, the Legacy of Kain series, though, is a really good one. For the stream sometime, I think. I kind of just want to do a full playthrough, because I've played several different games in that series at various points throughout my life, but not in order, so I don't have a good sense of, like, the story progression or the timeline through those different games, and they all had very interesting stories in different ways. I still think that Soul Reaver is still my favorite out of those. That was the first one that I played. Oh, hey, we got a new tech for Robo. I'm actually a little bit stuffed up right now, so I'm just gonna go blow my nose. Back in a second. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mute my microphone while I was doing that, didn't I? Yeah, hopefully that wasn't too loud and disgusting for all of you. But, right, now I was gonna do something. I was gonna heal Chrono. Oh, Ayla's got a... It's like everybody... I think that's actually true. I think everybody in this game has some kind of healing ability. Other than... Chrono doesn't have one. Luca doesn't have one. Although she's got Protect, which is kind of a supporty spell. Oh, that's amusing. So you can actually look at other people's techs who aren't in the party, but you can't use them. Yeah, Frog's got some. She's got Protect. She's got, like, all support spells. Oh, you know what? Maybe we do want her in the party, just to, Or actually, Frog's the one who's actually a bit more behind on techs, so maybe we put him in. I think we're actually going to do that. Yeah, it's not really levels that are the main thing you want to equalize with the different party members. I think it's actually tech points. Because, yeah, maybe... I mean, I guess the main reason that he's behind on techs is that he was, like, out of the party for most of the game until right before the Magus... Oh, right, this is just, random nonsense. Is there a method to this? Is there something different about these tiles I'm stepping on here? I never did figure out what the trick was. Oh, good, we got our dummy helmet now. Okay, so... Oh, except Frog's in the party now, so we've got the helm on who we wanted on in the first place. That's not a big increase. Yeah, this really isn't a huge upgrade at all. Oh, that's it. We had the beret as our dummy helm, so we need to swap a helmet off of one of the girls and then onto one of the guys and then swap the glow helm off from there. So it's like a 4-step process if we want to, yeah, swap out that dumb OP glow helm. Oh, we're fighting. That was a nice little, I don't know, what do you call it? Not exactly a jump scare, but just an unexpected turn of events. We thought we were going to teleport, but we're actually fighting. And yeah, I talked a little bit about how, at least the first half of Magus's Castle was, like, really good and atmospheric and, like, the best dungeon in the game. I wouldn't go so far as to call this one the worst dungeon in the game, but there's not really too much... Or I guess they do try to keep it varied with the different gimmicks and all that. Jesus. Okay, so we got the exit, but we don't want the exit. We want those eggs. Maybe here. Okay, that'll do that. Gotta revive. My party members never die, so that is irrelevant to us. And then when they do die, we just do a full wipe anyways against Magus. So now we just got this little mystery to solve. Okay, we need to not do that. So yeah, there's got to be a teleporter somewhere that'll get us up to that egg. Or maybe we fall down from above. I'm going to progress a little bit and see if we fall down there from above. Because yeah, I don't remember this dungeon as distinctly as I do Magus's Castle. I really should get that mid-ether that I hyped up onto Chrono at this point. Oh, so you don't even need to lower those guys' defense. But we're gonna go with the mid-ether anyways. 30 should be enough. Actually, pretty much the entire party is all, like, full of decent physical attackers, really. It's only Morrow and Luca, and Magus has got pretty decent regular attack too. So it's really mainly just the two present girls who are the sort of bringing up the rear in terms of physical power. There's not really much reason for that either, since you know, they use a crossbow and a gun, so there's really no reason why their regular attack couldn't be just as strong as everyone else's. Except, I guess, that they have the best magic in the game, so I guess that's one reason. Oh yeah, we actually do have to lightning these guys. Okay, so Frog's gonna mess it up too. Yep. Oh, shit. Yeah, I've never been positive about it, but I'm pretty sure that the characters do have elemental weaknesses based on their magic element. Okay, so note to self, we do need to lightning the Megasaur. Okay, so that's the gate in the center, so we really do... Or did I not hit this switch? Okay, no, that's the one that opened the mouth. Oh, that's how it is. Okay. Another one of those clever little interactions between the enemies that I really like. Although, yeah, he does only do like 20 damage to us and 100 to his own dudes, so... Okay, I'm gonna check this briefly to see if there's... Oh, actually, they're kind of... Can I fall down that hole? Okay, we're gonna save here, and then we're gonna go back. Hope it doesn't make us redo all these fights. If it does... If it does... Oh, this is actually not even the same fight. This is a new one. You get a different one coming from the right, as opposed to the left. That's decent for variety, though. And actually, yeah, as much as I've been complaining about some of the unavoidable fights in this game, I suppose you can run away very easily, actually, from pretty much all of these regular fights. So I guess you really don't have to level up from the mandatory fights if you don't want to. Okay, there's got to be something around here. If I go for the door. This bit right here in the music with the... I don't know what to call it. Where it's like, you know, the sort of like chimey thing in the background really reminds me of Kuja's theme from Final Fantasy IX. It's like the same, it's like a very similar chord progression, even very similar instrumentation. Or at least to like a particular bit of Kuja's theme, at least. Final Fantasy IX is one... I actually, I'm gonna sneeze again. No, I'm not. I hate it when that happens. But, yeah. Final Fantasy IX is one I haven't played in a really, really long time. So I sold off pretty much all of my old PS1 RPG collection for the same reasons I've sort of been talking about over the course of the playthrough, which is just I don't like most of those old RPGs in my collection. I don't like anymore, and I did keep the ones that I do like, but I got rid of pretty much the entire Final Fantasy series. And Final Fantasy IX is the one that I didn't sell. But it's not because I like it any more than the others, it's actually because I lost my copy. So, I don't know, somewhere around the house, I guess, is maybe a copy of Final Fantasy IX kicking around. Or I feel like I might have lent it to a friend who I'm not really in contact with anymore, and who tended to lose things that I would lend to her. So, that's my best guess as to what happened to my lost copy of FF9. But, you know, I don't want to assign blame to, I don't know, without all the facts in order, so I'm just going to assume for now that Final Fantasy IX is just sitting somewhere in my house. If I did find... I think there is, and the other thing is, even if I do get the urge to revisit some of those old PS1 RPGs, most of them are available, like, on PC right now. Like, even apart from the fact of... emulation. Am I just gonna give up on this? Is there just like no way for me to get that fucking egg? I'm gonna give up. It's just not in the cards. I'm not smart enough to crack that egg. I think we can run from this one. I think we've seen... Oh, shit! Okay, wasn't expecting... Why is this mandatory? That's just stupid. I was trying to give the game a compliment, where it's like, oh, mandatory fights you can just run away from if you don't like them. And then the game has to prove me to be, like, a stupid, and a liar, and a not know what he's talking about guy. But yeah, if I ever do get the urge to, revisit the Final Fantasy series, I'll probably just buy it on Steam. I really do. I know some people have that, especially among retro gamers, really do have that connection to like physical media, and they want like physical copies of all their games, and they're like purists as far as like original hardware and all of that stuff. And I've just never been about that. Or same with books, even. Like I remember Rod, nothing to do with the thing about Roger Ebert and video games, but I remember Roger Ebert was talking shit about the Kindle way back in the day too. He was all about like the physical media thing, where it's like, yeah, a book is something you hold in your hand, and you got like talking about like the smell of the pages and the weight and the heft to it and that type of stuff. And he's like, Kindle sounds like something that you burn, or whatever. I've never had that sort of connection to just, like, I guess the medium of forms of media, as it were, where I just I actually prefer having all, like, my entire book library consolidated. Or I actually need to choose who's going to be in the party for this boss fight. I feel like Robo is a good pick, actually, because I think he is actually. Oh yeah, he's definitely hits a bit harder than Frog there. So yeah, we're gonna swap him in. We're gonna shelter up. Does he know any lightning? No, Robo learns shock like way later in the game, and I don't. In fact, that's his ultimate magic spell. So yeah, and I don't even know if it counts as lightning now that I think of it. Actually, yeah, let's try. Oh, yeah, I think we've already got the. Oh, okay, yeah, actually, it's better probably just to manipulate her speed. Yeah, basically, whenever there's a speed disparity between your party members, is it worth heal beaming after this? Not really. But yeah, whenever there's a speed disparity between party members, that's when double techs become a lot less useful. Just because it's faster for your faster character. You do more damage if your faster character just does their single tech every time the opportunity comes up. Although I guess if they happen to align at some point, that's a time for a double tech. In fact, Robo might as well wait around for... Actually... As much as I was saying, maybe now's the time for a double tech, but actually maybe now's the time for a heal beam instead. Actually, after the static discharge, I think his defense resets, so we're gonna wait for Chrono to hit him with some lightning. Actually, yeah, now might be the time to show off a good old double. Oh shit, we could even get a... No, we probably don't know a triple, but... Oh hey, Volt Bite. Kind of want to do one with Robo, though. Oh, does Ayla not... Oh no, I'm in Chrono's menu, so if you want to Robo double tech, then, yeah, we can do it that way. Oh, although I should have had Chrono use Lightning first, so that they're, Oh yeah, we've seen that one before. It's a pretty cool looking one. Just get the big old volleyball spike going on him. That's an idea for like a... Yeah, like a Squaresoft sports game. Chrono Trigger Volleyball, where Ayla is just the ball. Call it the game of patriarchy, if anyone gets that reference. Okay. Yeah, Robo's just like... I think that when I was first playing this game as a kid, my normal endgame party was Chrono, Robo, and I think Magus. And Robo was kind of the designated healer. I feel like this guy should be going down like very, very soon. Actually, I think someone might actually go down if he does another static discharge, so... Yeah, I think it's time for another heal beam. Ooh! Nice hit. What? Oh, I didn't get it the second time. Yeah, it's... Yeah, this... Although... Well, what was I... I completely forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. This little excursion into the prehistoric era is kind of a weird detour. Like, it's not really explicitly related to the main plot. It's just sort of like, oh, we randomly happen to come back into the prehistoric era after fighting Magus. And it just so happens that some shit's gone down in the war between reptites and humans. So I guess we're just gonna help out our friend Ayla because we're here and shit's going down. And it's not really related to the main plot. Like I've been saying, everything after you find out about Lavos is related to like advancing the main plot, where you're I want to change party members. Like everything is sort of, whereas the game is kind of directionless and unfocused, and you're just sort of moving from adventure to adventure in the early bits of the game, where it's like you take a little excursion into the medieval times and have a fun little romp, and then you come into the present and you get tried and convicted and sentenced to be executed, and that's a fun little romp. And then you go to the future, and then suddenly shit gets real, and then the real plot kicks in, and then you're focused. And then everything is focused towards investigating Lavos' origin. I don't know who's going to be best for this next fight. I think maybe we just stick with the plan of whoever needs tech points the most. So right now everyone's actually pretty good. We're all pretty even. He's going 341 for the next one, 370, 370, 570. So yeah, maybe we do keep Robo in here. Yeah, I think that's a plan. Robo worked out well for the last fight. We'll just keep him here. But yeah, anyways, after you found out about Lavos, like the whole plot of the game at that point is to uncover his origins and save the future and all of that. But this little detour right here into the prehistoric era is the one bit that isn't really connected to that. As far as we know, none of this that's going on here has anything to do with Lavos. And it's just kind of a coincidence in the end that we'll find out that this is sort of the point of impact where Lavos comes onto the scene. And yeah, actually, this is kind of a clean break for like a midpoint of the game, because this is where you definitively get like the origin of Lavos and how I'm able to call him a giant space porcupine. Okay. Oh, I actually kind of want to... Oh. Okay, I actually kind of wanted to fight that. Will they let me do that again? Cool. Might as well lightning too. And actually, yeah, now that I think of it, we're pretty much completely done with the prehistoric area. Kind of like I showed off when I flew around on the pterodactyl. There's not really anything else to do or explore here. Or that's not true. I think the shop upgrades its equipment later on in the game. So there's kind of a reason to go back to the hunting ground and farm up the horns and petals and whatnot. But other than that, there's like no more plot stuff going on here. Oh, you just open it just like that. You know what, the fact that that stupid little thing there is just hanging around forever is going to bug me. So what we're going to do, that chat thing, you can't see my mouse cursor, I guess, just my one little test message in chat. So we're just going to quickly switch scenes there just to put that away. Okay, and now we're back in business. That looks like it hurt. I feel like Chrono should just be like knocked out for this fight because of that. Ah, shit! Again, the memory cursor fucking me over. Almost did it again, but. And actually, I suppose there's a reason, because why we don't come back to the prehistoric era, and it's kind of a silly gameplay reason, because later on in the game, like in terms of the main plot, pretty much every era is done with. It's like we go to the Ice Age, and then that's where the rest of the game's plot occurs. Until the end of the game, when you unlock all of the little side quests, and then I guess you go to the future to rescue Chrono. But other than that, like, pretty much every era is pretty much done in terms of, like, stuff happening for the main plot. It's all just side quests later on is the only reason to come back to the different time periods. And of course, of course, each character has their own little subplot in their own era. Or I guess Frog's actually takes place in the present, and Robo's takes place... Or actually, no, there's like a multi-era thing, I guess, for the Sunstone, where you... Like, yeah, I guess you kind of come back here to set the Sunstone in place, and that's kind of a thing, but I don't really consider that, like, a major... It's not, like, based in the characters or the conflicts of the era, or anything like that. Do you actually fight her here? I don't think so. See ya, nerds! Oh, I thought she was just gonna, like, jump all the way up, but it's just, like, kind of an anticlimactic finish there. Really should make an effort to mute my microphone before I do that gross, cold-related shit. Do I want to go back on that stupid save point? Okay, if it's the bridge, yeah, we've gotta fix this. So what we're gonna do... yeah, we're gonna get Marl in the party just to make with a bit of healing, so as not to waste the items. And heal herself, because why the hell not? And then Robo is gonna need a different source of healing. Which I guess we can just use our tonics, because there's no reason to ever use those in battle. 508's close enough. Might as well use up some of these. Actually, Ether is pretty much worthless in battle as well, so we might as well use up all of those. Hey, that fit nicely. I don't know, I just find it really satisfying when you use an item and, like you restore 10 MP, and you restore the full 10 MP to get yourself to full MP. It's just really satisfying, I think. Yep, there's that blinking red star I was talking about earlier. It's kind of a nihilistic standpoint there, where it's like not... It's like, hey, we're going to be extinct anyway, so we might as well take you guys with us. Although apparently they aren't going to go extinct, because if you abandon Ayla here and just go defeat Lavos... I forget what the gimmick is for this fight. I think the first thing you want to do is kill Azala, because she's got, like, support magic. Right, and that stone throw will not work on giant enemy. Oh. So it gotta be magic then? Because that stone throw seems like it didn't do nearly as much damage as I thought it should. Which I guess makes Ayla a pretty poor choice for this fight, although we can't exactly remove her or anything. Or actually, you know what? That's another use for double techs, actually, is yeah, because since Ayla's kind of useless, since we need magic to deal with Azala, yeah, we can have her use some double techs to sort of let her borrow some magic. So yeah, we're gonna do a Volt Bite and see how that goes. That looks like that should damage her as well. Okay, that's not very good, actually. Okay, not too scary as far as damage output goes right here. Okay, so I guess we just have her sit around, maybe have her heal people? Or, I don't know, maybe Rock Throw is considered earth magic or something, and she's resistant to that. We'll try this and see if it does any better. damage-wise, and it does not. So we're just going to have her auto-attack. Save her MP for when it really is going to be useful. Or I don't know, does she have any double text with Robo that might be considered? Spin kick, probably not. It's probably a bad team composition for what's going on here. Oh my. Oh my! Jesus. Okay, so I guess Ayla is on heal duty after all. Okay, so I think we'll be fine though. Whoops, that was the wrong target. I fucked that up. Oh hey, that's actually a bigger heal than I would have expected. Nice. Oh, never mind. Oh, yep, okay. When it said Azala break, I thought, oh, that means she's dead. But no, it was just an attack. But it turns out it's both. I think it's weird and ironic that Chrono gets the ability that brings people back to life. So it's sort of a workaround for the classic RPG problem of, like, when a party member dies, why don't you just use magic or a healing item to bring them back? Like, where were the Phoenix Downs when Eris died? And all of that nonsense. Oh, okay, now it's time. I mean, hell, they're aligned. Let's try the Volt Bite. And yeah, it turns out that the answer to that question in this game is why not just revive Chrono, is because Chrono is the one with the revive magic. So there you go. And I guess the answer to the question of why don't they just use a revive item is, shut up. And yeah, that answers that. Oh my. We are going to have to heal at some point, because I don't think we're going to be able to take this guy down before he... what is he doing? I think it's a big fire breath attack is what's going on here. Actually, yeah, Robo's got the AoE heal, and he's kind of the weak link as far as damage output goes, but we'll save that to the end. And... yeah, we'll wait until we're, like, in desperate need and the countdown's about to go to 0 before we do that, because maybe we'll be able to take him down before Doomsday. Though that is a bit risky, since Robo's a bit slower than the others. We'll give it one more Robo tackle, and then we'll make with the healing. And dead! No. Oh, this was a little risky. Is Robo gonna get another turn before the next countdown? Also, I find it hilarious how that little roar that does no damage still triggers Chrono's counterattack. I think we could actually, like, full party wipe here if I actually don't get this heal off in time. I think we're actually in danger of that, but it doesn't matter because this is gonna kill him. Fuck. Okay, this should save us, though. Oh, yeah, easily. I think we're all gonna survive this. Oh, yeah, some of our people still have fire vests, too, don't they? Okay, they don't, but that would have been another way to alleviate the danger of that. And I think this is all it does at this point, so as long as we can kill him before the next countdown... Oh? Alright, we gotta wait for his defense to drop again. Any minute now. Oh, never mind. That's some horse shit. Oh, fuck me. Okay. That was really bad. That was like literally the worst possible thing that could happen. It's like all of my worst nightmares are coming true. I actually want to kiss him again. Just have a little makeout session while we've got nothing better to do with this guy. Or do we have to lightning him to drop his defenses? Is that the trick here? Well, that undoes the healing he did to himself, at least. I mean, I guess we might as well just attack him. There we go. I don't even know if Volt Bite is like more damage than just their individual strongest techs, because Chrono's really only contributing like 2 MP towards this attack. Hopefully, if we don't kill this guy right now in this hit, I'm just gonna test it out. So like 950 or thereabouts is the bar to clear. So we're gonna do Ayla's strongest attack. Rock Throw's not gonna work, so we'll do the cat attack. So that's 400, and I doubt that Chrono's going to do 500 with Spin Cut. So it actually is worthwhile to do the Volt Bite. Oh, easily worthwhile. Yeah, more MP efficient too. Oh, hey, Azala's back. She was just hiding behind the rock monster. and now they make with the sad music as if we're supposed to be sorry for this genocidal, nihilistic maniac who wanted to, like, extinguish all life on Earth because the reptiles were gonna go extinct. But yeah, this is kind of just the same basic plot line as the Middle Ages, where it's just humans versus non-humans. And that's how we learned that Lavos, the giant laser porcupine, was actually a giant space laser porcupine. Is that even like Lavos' sprite, or is that like a new one that they... It's hard to tell with it rotating so quickly, but I think that is actually just Lavos' sprite, just like rotating very, very fast. Doing basically a Sonic the Hedgehog spin. Also, if Ayla's people have their own language, then how does she speak English all this time? I guess that's, you know, you don't ask these kinds of questions. Suspend your disbelief and all of that. And always with that, yeah, creepy Lavos scream whenever... That's basically how every one of these little sort of attempts to uncover Lavos' origins ends. It's like you go to Magus's castle to try and stop him from creating or summoning him, and then time energy goes crazy, and then you get the Lavos scream as they get sucked into the portal. And then the same basic thing happens here, or it's like you have the battle with Azala, and then Lavos interrupts things and crashes into the earth. And you get the big creepy Lavos scream before you... This is an interesting decision right here, too. Just like, visually. Just like why did they do it this way? I guess just like pull back the camera and sort of survey the devastation, I guess. And then I guess the 3 little lights there to show that your characters are... on screen to explain what's going on with the conversation. I'm actually a little bit curious to see what the village denizens have to say about all of this. I'm guessing not much. Also, yeah, the sweet water will be useful after that last fight, too. Oh, hey! They're actually appreciative. I wonder what the losers over in Laruba have to say about all this, also. Wait a second. Big fire where Lavos fell. Doesn't Lavos mean big fire in their language? So it's like, I saw big fire where the big fire fell. No shit. This is like all trade. Or okay, did they change the items in here as a result of all the shit that went down? Yeah, it looks like the same stuff. Also, I feel like there's some stuff in here that I forgot to equip. Yeah, we could have had that. Could have had that extra 3 defense. Maybe that would have saved Chrono from getting lunched on by the big rock Tyrannosaurus. And yeah, I guess that's sort of a weird turn of phrase there, getting lunched on, when I've actually renamed Ayla to Lunch in this playthrough. And then they have that makeout session afterwards to sort of recover from that. So it's like he got lunched on to recover from getting lunched on, if you get the wordplay there. I don't think it's very clever. We're going to move on. Oh, you know what? These guys have got the purple armbands and leg bands, and the Laruba people, I think, are like mostly dressed in purple. I wonder if that's just like a swap between the two. Oh, these guys don't have any head or armbands or leg bands. They're just like real savages, I guess. They're like even less clothed. Wait, what did he say? Oh, the same thing as the other village. Well, at least they're appreciative. And yeah, I think that's pretty much like all of civilization in the past. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because yeah, you sort of see more and more towns and settlements crop up over the course of history, although I guess fewer going into the Ice Age, which makes sense. Ayla doesn't really have any motivation to stay with you at this point, now that I think of it. Neither does Frog, really. Like, he sort of ends up stuck with you, since he gets sucked into the portal after the Magus fight, so he's like kind of just along for the ride, or gets stuck along for the ride, sort of. But Ayla just kind of decides, it's like, okay, we're going to... Or I guess she's kind of hot on Chrono, I guess, a little bit. You sort of see that develop, like, right from the get-go when you first meet her. Wait, 12,000 years in the past. Does that mean 12,000 BC or 12,000 years from 1000 AD? And frankly, 12,000 years from the past in terms of, like, Robo's timeline would be like I can't do math and I can't remember what the future year is in this game. It's like 2300. Or actually, oh, we can go to Terra Cave at this point. I don't think there's anything to do there, but whatever, we'll do it anyways. Oh yeah, they won't drop the ladder down for us until we get kicked out of Zeal. Yeah, this is another timeline where there's not really a whole lot to explore and do beyond just the main plot. Like, pretty much everything that gets done in this era gets done in the service of the main plot line. Yeah, it's really mainly just the Middle Ages, the present, and the future, where like all of the action happens in terms of like side quests in the end game. Oh yeah, okay, and here we are, Kingdom of Zeal. So I talked earlier about oh yeah, and there's Masa and Mune here. So you see a few familiar faces here. There's like a lot of important characters in the game's story who have their origin in this time period and this kingdom in particular. And it's really an interesting sort of setting for a time travel story, I think, because I talked earlier about how all of the different periods in the game are kind of traditional or popular destinations for these sort of time travel stories, and Chrono Trigger is just sort of an amalgam of these different types of stories you see in time travel fiction, where you've got, you know, modern man back in the past, back to the Stone Age, sent to the future. And you can see like a few, multiple different examples of those types of stories in pulp culture and fiction and all of that. And I sort of went over those back when I first talked about that in the previous stream. But this right here is an exception. You don't see a lot of time travel stories where modern man gets sent back to the Ice Age. And certainly not where modern man gets sent back to the Ice Age, where there's a magic kingdom on a floating island, sort of presiding over or above the race of scummy normal humans who are stuck in caves down on the surface, which is not it's not a unique setting as far as RPGs are concerned. Like the notion of sort of like a magical upper class oppressing the scummy land-dwelling lower class. It's like kind of and certainly the notion of floating islands and all of that. It's all like sort of part and parcel of the usual tropes of the RPG genre. But to have that included here, it's just, I think, a very stark contrast with the rest of the time periods in the game, and just and a lot of that comes down to the Mist Robe is actually useful. We're actually going to stick that on... Oh, she's already... What? Okay, I could have sworn that it said that her... Or, right, that's right, Luca would benefit from the Mist Robe, except she actually won't, because the Tabin Vest, gives her that speed. But yeah, anyways, this... What I'm getting at is that, one, this time period kind of stands out... Oh, right, this... Again, shit. Forgot that I talked to this guy already. This time period really stands apart from the others. There's a lot of important plot-related stuff that happens here that sort of ripples forward through time as well as a result of what happens here. You see a lot of characters sort of taken out of this era and put into the others, and sort of having important plot-related things to do where they end up. Oh, creepy prophecy. What are the percentages? Robo's kind of a bore. I'm tempted to, anyways, I kind of want to swap... Actually, let's swap out party members. We've had these guys... We've got a full reign over the party right now. So, in fact, I feel like we've had Frog and Robo in quite a bit. So we're going to go with, like, the good old original three. The original harem, as it were. And, just see what they have to say about all of this. But anyways, apart from just the novelty of this setting itself, that's sort of outside the usual trappings of time travel fiction, it's just a very cool-looking place. Just like the music and the aesthetic and the atmosphere of this whole floating island kingdom and all of that. I mean, in a sense, it depends on how you define your terms. I'm going to say no, probably not in the sense that you mean. Although I guess you can check out the different answers. And I guess he'll just agree with absolutely anything you say. What if I just say that it's all stupid? Oh! Oh my god, that's like a little Undertale moment right there. No turning that one back. But yeah, this is just such the music especially. I've talked about how the music is really important in. Oh, you know what? There's a specific order you have to do them in. That's right. I was what? Water summons. I can't believe I still remember that to this day. But it's yeah, water summons wind, and wind makes fire dance. I believe, and I don't think you get that, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. But I don't think you even get that clue until you go to Zeal Palace. Oh well, I actually did remember it accurately. And yeah, you get like these weird little like cryptic like musings into the nature of like fate and reality and all of that, and it's just a weird. It's and yeah, it's a setting that's kind of captured the imagination for me back in the day, and kind of I think has for a lot of players as well. So this is sort of getting back to yeah how the impact this game had on me back in the day. I was not. So I was into Chrono Trigger fanfiction back then. I didn't write any of it or anything, but this was, and I didn't really read much I read some Secret of Mana fanfiction back in the day too. See, Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana were sort of the two games that, yeah, really did it for me in terms of like, and again, a lot of that, most of that is not really down to the story and characters, because neither of these games really had super interesting stories or characters, but it was all down to just like the setting and the music and the atmosphere of the game and all of that. That really wanted me to, really compelled me to sort of want to explore the setting more than I had at that point. So yeah, anyways, I got into reading a bunch of Chrono Trigger fan fiction back in the day, and by far the most popular setting for that type of fan fiction was like all about the Kingdom of Zeal and what was going on here and how things got the way they did here with the tyrannical queen and all of that, and what happened to the king and that kind of nonsense. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it really seemed to be the one setting that captured the imagination of the Chrono Trigger fanfic community more so than, yeah, any of the other time periods in the game. Yeah, and I guess the other thing is the question of what happens to Shala. Oh, that didn't get him. Also, I should have done some healing there, too. I think we need a different party for this fight. I don't think you get a game over if you lose this one. Because, yeah, the news have two different types of attacks. One that sets your HP to 1 and one that does 1 damage. Or actually, I think it's maybe different news have different attacks. Anyways, we're just gonna lose this one, I guess. I think it's a triangle type thing where it's like the, yeah, top left, top right, and the bottom sort of form a triangle, and those guys will will set your HP to 1, and then the other three, the bottom left, bottom right, and bottom center, will deal 1 damage. So as long as you can kill like 1/2 of them. And yeah, this guy's, yeah, not going to do anything, but actually might as well. So okay, now we want to go for the ones on the top, although the ones on the bottom are kind of, I don't want to waste my revives. We're not going to win this fight anyways. Or sorry, we're not going to lose this fight. We're not going to game over anyways if we lose this, so I'm not going to waste resources on it. I think this one's going to kill her. Yeah. And I think we'll get another shot at that if we want, although, yeah, we need to heal everyone first. Okay, so a good party composition. Pretty much any character with a full party heal would actually be good for this, so we'll bring Frog back in. Or is Frog healed up? Yes, healed enough, at least. But oh yeah, the two most popular things, sort of stories for Chrono Trigger fan fiction were basically what went down in the Kingdom of Zeal before all of the events in the game, and second, why do I still have Morrow in the party? She's kind of useless. Oh, actually, we can do some ice water, actually. That'll just take all these guys out at once. Yeah, that'll be great. But yeah, what happened to in the Kingdom of Zeal to get it to this state that it's in when you see it in the game? And second, what happened to Shala after the game? Because yeah, she sort of gets sucked into the time port, or no, she ends up stuck with Lavos in the end. And right, we need to heal these people before the 1 damage guys get their attacks off. And then, anyways, and then the question of what happened to Shala after she sort of departs from the story, which I guess the sequel ends up kind of answering, although not really in a satisfying way. Kind of goes a bit off the reservation in terms of the plot and wrapping things up that were unanswered in the first game. But anyways, and that question, as far as people were concerned back then, at least, typically concerned, like, returning to the Kingdom of Zeal to find out what happened there. Oh... No, we're fine. In fact, we don't even need a full heal. Any amount of healing is fine. Oh dear. Yeah, any amount of healing is fine, so Slurp will do it. But yeah, I was just, or in fact, I wonder if it even still exists. There were RPG fanfiction places that would just have just like RPG fanfiction was a big thing back in the day, and pretty much every RPG would have like its own little fanfiction community. But the one site that I would frequent was Icy Brian's RPG fanfiction page. I wonder if it still exists even, because it's like from the days of the old internet. Like I think it might have even been a GeoCities page back in the day. Back when everybody had like their own little GeoCities and Angel Fire fan sites for video games and whatever. Yeah, I don't even know. Does GeoCities even exist anymore? I know Angel Fire is dead. Any site that was hosted on Angel Fire back in the day certainly doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I wonder if any of those old fanfiction sites are still around. There was one that I visited for Secret of Mana fanfiction in particular. I don't remember what it was called. It was something or other Forest, I think. But anyways, that's a trip and a half. And yeah, I couldn't even describe to you like what the main plots of most of these fanfics were. I read so many of them, and I didn't really have much taste in like fiction or anything like that back in the day, so I couldn't none of them really stuck with me, and I don't remember anything really standing out as being particular high quality or anything. It's just stuff that I read and got into in my spare time back then. Okay, so he's dead. That was kind of gruesome. Nice tabs, though. Oh, we gotta go back to the end of time at some point. We might have even missed the form of Specchio. Not sure about that. I keep forgetting that we need to go back and check those out from time to time. I think the magic tabs go on Robo at this point. Or in fact, let's just investigate the party members' magic stats. There's no point in bringing Ayla's magic up. We got 19, we got 17. And Robo gets good magic later on in the game, so... In fact, he gets better magic than Frog for his, like, sort of final ultimate attack, so, yeah, I think we are gonna put those magic tabs on him. Then as far as the speed tabs, I think we just want them all on Luca. And so we're, what, 14, but he's +2 right now. 10... She didn't have any... oh, no, she does have a speed belt, so she's on... oh, she's got the speed belt, that's right. So she's on +2 as well, so she's a natural 8. Natural 6, so we might even want Robo to get that speed right now. Oh, except Luca's a natural 8 as well. This is going to sound really bad out of context if anyone's happening to come in on the stream. Or actually, no, she's a natural 7, actually, even. Because, yeah, we got the +2 from the Tabin vest, and we got the +1 from the bandana. So, yeah, she's a natural 7, so we're going to have to fix that. Keep hitting the wrong buttons on the controller. I don't know why that is when I'm streaming, that I do that all the time. Mainly just because I'm more focused on what to say next as opposed to what's actually happening on screen. So yeah, a little speed tab makeup should yeah, bump her up from 7 to 8 right there. So now she's at least on par with the other slow party members. Oh, Robo was 6, wasn't he? So we should have given it to him. Shit. Oh well. There will be other speed tabs in the future. Like, yeah, I know Specchio, for example, gives one of each tab, I think, in one of his later forms. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all that needs to be done in Hasa there. Okay, I need to be careful about watching the time here, because yeah, I've been streaming... What, I've done 3 streams in the last week, and it was pretty much on days where I've got nothing going on, but this is the first day where it's like my stream schedule kind of conflicts with my work schedule a little bit, so I actually do need to be very careful that I don't go overtime and end up missing work or something stupid like that. So yeah, we got a hard deadline at 3 o'clock where I've got to leave. Which we're not even close to right now. We've got like another good 2.5 hours before I need to worry about that, but still, I just need to vocalize it to make sure that I don't completely forget about it. Oh yeah, this is Dalton's introduction to the plot. Oh yeah, and this is where we first hear about the Prophet, too. I have no idea what he's talking about here. Who is the you he's talking about here? How you handle this situation? Like, is he talking about like someone else? Is he talking about how Zeal gonna handle this, or how are we gonna handle this? Even though that's a weird thing to say. How's the Prophet gonna handle this? This being his prophecy coming true, which I guess would be good for him. I get the sense that the Prophet, who we'll meet later on, actually very soon, and Dalton are kind of rivals in the court of Queen Zeal. Okay, so I guess we do have to open all of the books first to... Oh, actually, no, we can just close them right here. We don't even need to... exit the area to, yeah, do the book thing. That always drove me nuts, that, yeah, there was that building just sitting there on the continent. There's a couple of the floating continents that, yeah, the little blue pyramid that they show you, and then the Sun Key Pier that they show you, and you can't ever get to them. It's sort of like those treasure chests in the previous dungeons that were driving me nuts that I couldn't figure out how to get to. And it's just the same thing here, where as a kid, it drove me crazy that I was sure that there was secret stuff over in those buildings. Oh, I was mashing buttons and I talked to him again. Whatever, we'll show it off again. And anyway, it just drove me nuts that there's got to be some way to get over there, and I'm sure there's like amazing treasure or something. But no, it's just kind of setting up the fact that you'll visit those buildings in other time periods and do things with them then. Okay, so we got the water. I think the yeah, wind was this one, and fire was this one. Don't even remember what's in here. That... Oh, okay. I think that doesn't come... The rocks, the different colored rocks don't come into play until much later on in the game. It basically, yeah, teaches you triple text. Unless it... Or no, that's right, only the people who can actually use it can equip it. So yeah, you go Black Rock, and yeah, that's how you learn the Dark Eternal triple tech, which I think is... Who all gets in on that one? I know it's Luca and Magus. And I guess, is she the other one? Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at the other characters, they can't equip it. And yeah, I guess that's a missable item, actually. Actually, I guess there's a few different missable items, because yeah, that one egg in, oh, dang it, they talked to this guy already. Oh, right, this guy. This is like our third time doing this. Okay, that's what I get for not paying attention to what's going on the screen. And yeah, so they're sort of setting the scene for sort of the political, I guess, conflicts that's going on in the kingdom right now, where there's sort of tension between the queen and Shala and her brother to a lesser extent, and then Dalton and this newcomer, the prophet, who's arrived on the scene. So there's a lot of action going on in the kingdom of Zeal. Although the denizens of Zeal don't seem too concerned with it. They're kind of an easygoing lot. Actually, I wasn't paying attention to what this guy said. Who is this guy? He has a unique sprite. Or is that, one of the gurus? I'm not positive. It's not a named character, and I think that's the only place that sprite occurs in the game, so it's like he's not, a random NPC. I want to talk... Oh, right, yeah. No, it's just regular items. Is there... I guess there's not... Ah, dang it. But the queen's never gonna say okay, because the queen's like our mortal enemy. Oh, never mind, it is just a random NPC. I guess that's the scholar sprite. Okay. That's just me, yeah, reacting to nothing. Overreacting to nothing, I guess. Okay, that's a bit of, yeah, ominous foreshadowing there, because we will eventually find out that the power she's drawing from is actually Lavos, and it's gonna... That's the clue you get for the books. But yeah, Queen's gonna basically destroy the kingdom by trying to abuse the power of Lavos. Not that she gives a shit, because it turns out that she's kind of a selfish bitch in the end. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna tap into the power of Lavos and make everyone immortal, but actually I'm just gonna kill everyone else and make myself immortal instead in the end. Which I guess might not have been her plan. It might have been her plan all along, or might not have been, but either way, she doesn't seem too concerned with the destruction of her kingdom in the end. And then there's sort of the open question of whether the queen was actually... Oh, that's right. We've got to... There's a little... We got to discover the news secret scratch point. I can't read that book. I forget where we find out, because yeah, somewhere around here is the secret of the news secret scratch point. I think it's in Zeal Palace. We'll scratch anew, and yeah, that'll let us come back here. Actually, I feel like I'm getting the names of the towns mixed up. Okay, Anhasa, Kajar, and then there's Zeal Palace up the way here. Or you know what? I'm out of tea. I kind of have to take a piss, so we're just gonna take a quick bathroom break, and I'll yeah, be back in a bit. And actually, this will be a good place to break the recording for the mod as well. So it's all gonna line up, and I'm not gonna play my usual playlist of background music here, because there's love the music here. So that'll be fine to have this repeating while we're away.